Good morning, everyone, and welcome to White River Buddhist Temple's Sunday morning service. Our sutta today will be Juni Rai on page 25.
Can I ask that everyone please join me in Gasho, put your hands together, or bow your head in contemplation as we say together, Namo Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Nuts, Namo Nuts, Namo. Keshu Can I ask us once more to please put your hands together in Gasho or bow your head in contemplation as we say once more together, Namo Amida Butsu, I take refuge in Amida Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo Amida Butsu.
Will everyone please now rise if you are able and turn to page 3 in our service book to read along with me the 3 treasures. Fortunate is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Rare is it to encounter the teachings of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not seek the truth of the Dharma in this life, in what life shall we find it? Let us reverently take refuge in the 3 treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken within us our highest aspiration. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the Dharma and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord and a life of harmony in the spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriad of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful teaching. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Now please turn to page 163 for the Gafa Seya. Thank you. You may now be seated. We will now have a Dharma message from Reverend Cindy. We have 2 senseis, so. Okay. Reverend Cindy.
Can I ask that everyone please put your hands together in Gasho or bow your head in contemplation as I read these words from Shinran Choni, the founder of Jodo Shinshu. Nyorai daihi no onroku wa miyoko ni shite mo hozu beshi. シー知識の音読も骨を砕きてもシャーすべしと。Such is the benevolence of Amida's great compassion, that we must strive to return it, even to the breaking of our bodies. Such is the benevolence of the masters and true teachers, that we must endeavor to repay it, even to our bones becoming dust. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Test. Good. I realized I didn't bring my doris with me. I will bring these slippers down instead. Okay. Oh, it's okay. Thank you, sir. But as usual, for my non-special services, I try to come down so I could talk to everyone and be on this level with you all, because I feel weird, honestly, again, standing up there. And I guess I could tell you guys, but when Koyama-sensei sees me speaking from up here, he's like, "You look so cute. I could only see from your head up." And so I'm like, yeah, I want to tell people that I have a body as well. So here I am. So today, since it is not a special service, I thought I wanted to reflect on like the past, I want to say, couple of months. And I'm only saying this because right now, at this moment, we're able to have services for those who passed within the past couple of months. And we have so many funerals going on. I know Seattle has this space too, but we have so many people who passed within the past 2 months. The person whose funeral we had yesterday, Mrs. Toyoshima, was a really big part of White River Buddhist Temple. And she passed in November of last year. And then today, sorry, we have dawn service this afternoon. And I've been reflecting on that. Because last week, there was someone who was, sorry, I'm slowly starting to cry, so I apologize for that. But someone that was really important to me, especially as a minister, passed away in December of last year also. And his name for us was Reverend Dr. Seigen Yamaoka. He was the bishop of BCA for about 15 years. And of course, during that time, I didn't care who was bishop because I was a kid. But I got to know him because I went to the Institute of Buddhist Studies. And he worked so hard to make the Institute of Buddhist Studies a place. He was the one who helped fund the building of the Jodo Shinshu Center in Berkeley, California. He's the one who continued to encourage donations from members, from people who were affiliated with the Buddhist Church of America to help fund the Institute of Buddhist Studies so that we could have ministers like myself go through school. Right? And so last week we had his funeral. And though I was not able to be there in person at the Buddhist Church of Oakland, I was able to watch his service online. And he was such a big part to, I feel like, me. And if you noticed, from right before the beginning of the kancho this morning, I changed my wagesa. Because this wagesa was a present from Yamaoka sensei. Because he was very humble. He was a very humble person. And one day he says, "Oh, I need to give you something," and takes me to his office. And he has these wagesa laid out. He was like, "Choose one." And me, being the middle child, I'm indecisive. And so I'm all like, "Sensei, why don't you give me one of them?" And he was like, No. You choose. You choose. And so this is the wagesa that I chose from him. So this is a present from Yamaoka sensei that I will carry forever. And I have decided that this will be my wagesa that I will wear before and after a funeral service because it reminds me of Yamaoka sensei. He was the one, and I keep crying doing this, but he was the one that his one class that was always in person was this class called Issues in Buddhist Ministry. Issues in Buddhist Ministry. And the whole thing was to talk about the ministry and how we can be chaplains for people, how we help lead people during many times, different times in people's lives. And it's one of the hardest classes, honestly. And it's not because the paper you had to do was long. At the end of graduate classes, you have to turn in a paper. This paper didn't have to be long, but it had to be truthful to your life and how you felt about your life. So I'll give you 2 examples from what I wrote about in my paper. And again, this is nothing to my parents, this is nothing to my family, because this is how I felt. This is not how they think that them being around me affected how I became or I thought, right? This is just how I reflect on my life and how I want to say immature I was at that time. So this first example is when I was a child, I had to go to Nihongo Gakko, or Japanese language school. So my weeks were always, like Monday through Friday was go to regular school. Then Saturday was go to Nihongo Gakko, Japanese language school. Then Sunday was go to Sunday school. So I had school every single day of the week. And as a child, right, I had friends who would stay home Saturday morning and watch Saturday morning cartoons. And guess what I did? I was learning Japanese, and I didn't want to, right? Because at that time, I thought the best thing in the world was to be at home in front of, as like my dad liked to say, the idiot box, the TV, and just watch it. Right? That was my favorite thing to do. But I couldn't do it because my parents decided that I should learn Japanese. And at that time, I was ungrateful. I didn't understand how important Japanese was to me and my family. And so when I was growing up, I slowly started to realize how important Japanese language and the Japanese culture was to me. And so I very much appreciate now going to Nihongo Gakko, Japanese language school, when all I did was monku, or complain all the time to my parents. Why do I have to go to Japanese language school? I don't want to wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning to go to Japanese language school at 8 a.m. It's like going to regular school, Mom. Why do I have to go? But I am so grateful that they did, because as my life went on, I realized that I could understand people who were my grandparents' age. And most importantly, for my parents to be able to understand my grandmother, who, like Toyoshima-san yesterday, and like what Kusunoki sensei said, was like my oba-chan in that she spoke Hiroshima-ben. So she spoke Hiroshima dialect. And so unfortunately, as someone who was learning Tokyo Ben, or Tokyo dialect, I was not really able to understand her, so my parents had to translate for me. But I was able to understand her little by little. And so I so much more appreciate it when I'm able to talk to people in Japanese now, because I went to Nihongo Gakko. I continued my studies in the Japanese language. My second talk, which honestly is a lot deeper, is something that I think Yamaoka sensei in his class really wanted us to touch upon. And that was, well, he didn't phrase it like this, but he wanted you to touch on what was the most difficult part of your life. And for me, I won't go into too much detail because honestly, I'm not ready to talk about it in such an open setting too much. But there was a time in my life where I was suicidal. And so I wrote about it. And at the end of the class, she had to talk about it. And so it was one of the hardest, right? This is why this was one of the hardest classes, because you had to talk about that part of your life. And you had to tell your classmates about this, right? But this was why it was issues in Buddhist ministry. Because it reminded us that we are human beings, that we all suffer, that we all go through trials, tribulations like this. These things that we feel like stop us in our tracks or keep us from becoming better people. But this is not true. This is not true. Because though I do occasionally still get depression sometimes, I understand those people who are also going through this. Also understand that there are continuously people who go through this. And yes, I do want to help them, but also in understanding what this feels like, I also realize that I can't push myself on them. That I have to be there for them, that I want to be there for them during that time, to support them during this hard time, because I myself understand this. Understand. Probably not the same situation that they're going through, but understand the mindset that they're going through and wish to help them. It is with this understanding, with these issues in Buddhist ministry, that we deepen our understanding about Jodo Shinju Buddhism. Because this class allowed us to show us how human we are. How it is impossible to want to run away from the human condition of thinking selfish thoughts. Right? I don't want to go to Japanese language school in the morning. I want to watch Saturday morning cartoons instead. The feeling that I felt when I was at my lowest, those are the times that I realized that there are people who want to support me. And the one who does not let me go at any time during my life was Amida Buddha. Right? The Buddha of immeasurable light and life, the Buddha of infinite wisdom and compassion, is always there for us. Every single moment of our lives. I know I grew up within this tradition. So I could explain it like this. Amida Buddha is that friend that will never abandon you, that will always be by your side, even if you don't want it, even at the lowest point in my life where I didn't want anyone near me. Amida Buddha was, I'll give you some space, but I will let you know that I will be right here for you. During the time when I was younger, right? It was, even though, right, and you could hear your parents probably talk to you about like this. Even though you don't like going to Japanese language school now, you will eventually understand why it was so important for me to let you know why this should be or become important for you later on in life. And so I have been reflecting on all of this for the past couple of months now. And I think that I will never forget, right, those who have passed. Because, right, their lessons they have taught me continue to remind me of Amida Buddha's infinite wisdom and compassion, which will continue to be here, which allows those who have passed to continue to remind me through Namo Amida Butsu. I take refuge in Amida Buddha, as Namo Amida Butsu is the vehicle that allows those who have passed to come back to this world and gently remind us. Right? I will always be here for you. I will always support you. I will be your friend throughout your life. So today, for my opening, I did Ondoksan, which is what we usually sing during every service. And I think this is a good way for us to always reflect on those who have passed too, because we feel so indebted to those who have passed and how their lessons have affected us to become who we are today and continue, even though they are no longer here, to support us, even at our lowest point, even when we are trying to run away, like me and saying, I don't want to go to Japanese language school. Always there to help guide us during these troubled times. So in conclusion, I hope that everyone today, later on in the day, later on in the week, think about this and continue to think about it. How those who have passed continue to be with us, and how Amida Buddha's infinite wisdom and compassion allows this to happen through Namo Amida Butsu. I take refuge in Amida Buddha. So can I have us please put our hands together in Gasho as we think about this truth. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanabs, namanabs.
Thank you, Reverend Cindy, for that very touching and I think very important talk. Thank you so much. Please rise if you are able for the Gatha Ondoksan. It will be on page 152. Please turn to page 8 and read along with me the Daily Creed of Jodo Shinshu. Realizing enlightenment is assured and reciting the Nembutsu, I shall live my life cheerfully and positively. Understanding the oneness of life and cultivating self-reflection, I shall diligently attend to my life's tasks in gratitude. Recognizing the Dharma path, I shall help spread the teachings of the Buddha. Appreciating the Buddha Dharma, I shall respect and help others, working for the good of society. Namam Dabutsu. Namam Dabutsu. Namam Dabutsu. Okay. You may now be seated. Do we have any first-time guests today that wish to be introduced? Okay, do we have announcements?
Good morning. As a quick reminder, 1 o'clock this afternoon is Don Gardner's service. On the back bulletin board, we have a sign-up sheet. As everybody knows, we've been trying to help out Seattle with services and things like that, and we really need, if you can just put your name up there, if you might be available, and when we have a need, we'll give you a call, and if you're available, if you can help us, it's things like setting up the Hondo for services, being here to unlock the doors for deliveries. It isn't anything that's going to take a lot of time, but right now it's been Sharon, Charles, and I. So we'd like to try and get a list of names of folks who might be willing to help out. When they're having the service, we need somebody in the kitchen to help them navigate our equipment, because we've told them they can use any of our coffee pots, teapots, things like that, but they don't know where things are, so we just need somebody in the kitchen to help them out. Even doing laundry, okay, we have tablecloths now that we can use on the tables for our otoki and stuff. They were kindly donated by the Yamamoto family after their party. They had a whole bin of white tablecloths that they had from a wedding and didn't ask us if we could use them. So, but as we all know, they have to be cleaned after we use them. So even if you're willing to take something home and do the laundry, You know, it would be nice to have others that can help in any way that you might be able to. So the list is on the back bulletin board. Just put your name on there, and then as needs come up, we'll give you a call. If you're available, great. If not, it's not a problem. So please sign up if you're able to. Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for announcements. So I know we don't all have flyers, but we do have our closing remarks. If you remember them, you could say them along with me. My life is not only my life, but the life of others' sacrifices, kindness, thoughtfulness, and patience. I am grateful. Namam Davits. Namam Davits. Namam Davits. Okay. Thank you so much for coming to service today. If you haven't already, please come up to offer incense to Oshoko and have a safe drive home.